Hi, I'm Scott Thompson.
And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Well, here we are, episode 301, the very first episode. I'm sitting here with Gillian Anderson and Bryan Fuller. The ending of season 2 is so unbelievable. I mean, when you're on the plane with Hannibal, people just were gobsmacked everywhere. But why did you do it? Why are you with him?
She lives in this depressing 70s influenced house, alone.
It's a pretty lonely house. Yeah.
And she's got this very dapper, tweed-bound man who comes to visit her. And I think she's quite boundaried, but I think after a while, there's something that, it awakens in her something a little bit darker.
There's a moment in episode 1 which I love because you react to when he clubs Dimond.
Yeah.
You actually react in a really, dare I say, human manner. And I find that really exciting because up until then, Bedelia is so controlled.
Observe or participate.
What?
Are you in this very moment observing or participating?
Observing.
It's like, oh, this is the beginning of her cracking, I guess.
Or transforming.
Yeah.
Or transforming.
Yeah.
Now, what's the bathtub all about? What does that mean? That scene where you take the bath and then you sink. What do you think that's meaning?
It's very psychological, that moment. The fact that she is immersed in this world that Hannibal has invited her into, and she's accepted that invitation freely of her own will.
So she's falling into his world?
Yeah.
If you're so screwed up, why do you look like $1 million in every scene? Like, the more screwed up you get, the more together you look.
The aesthetic of the show is so designed, and Bedelia had to be a great counterpart to Hannibal, who is so meticulous in his aesthetic as well. So you get, when you look at these two beautiful people that have an icy sexuality to them, you understand why they're together.
When you, can we say, fisted the guy to death. Does that awaken something in you? Are you excited by what you've done?
I don't think necessarily. I think at the time there is, but I think the aftermath of it is horrific and repulsive. Yet when he dabs my forehead, it's almost like a baptism.
Which is great.
Which is great.
Considering.
Yes.
I see a lot of comedy in the show, and I find that this season, it's actually funnier than ever.
Yeah.
And ironically, I'm barely in it. And that's...
Does
she know that I blame her?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you hate Jimmy Price so much? That's
What? I have no idea.
Because your role has expanded so much this season.
And mine's diminished. Well, thank you very much. This has been a lot of fun. It's been wonderful to finally meet you.
Thank you, you too.
Finally shake off my...
Resentment?
Yeah, there's no other word for it but resentment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson.
And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. So we're here. We're here with Hugh, Dancy, and Kacey Rohl discussing episode 302. So, first of all, I want to know, what the hell are you doing going after this man who tried to kill you and has killed your surrogate daughter. Are you trying to capture him or what? What's up?
Well, I guess that's the question.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, not just the one you asked. I mean, it's a bigger question.
I guess that's the answer.
Yeah, and that's the answer.
Okay, we're done. We're done here.
No, it'll come to the... It'll make its way up to the surface.
He says that he forgives Hannibal.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Will is looking to even up not the score, but even everything up and kind of get a clean slate.
Right.
But what he wants to do with that clean slate is yet to be decided. For Will, he's like somebody that was wandering the earth, not only as a great chess player, let's say, but kind of thought he was the only person that even knew how to play chess. Then he stumbled across this other guy who's kind of equally adept, and it's like, someone who speaks my language. That is hard to let go, and that's, I mean, I think that a lot of people have had that experience one way or the other, that sense of recognition and being recognized, which is just being seen. Yeah. And it's addictive.
Do you think that your character has a death wish?
Her mission is self-preservation.
Okay.
And I think maybe the greatest form of self-preservation is death, finally.
Yeah, because she makes that speech about the world being many worlds. Does that mean that she has a belief in the afterlife and she knows that when she's dead, she'll go to a better place?
I think that was something that we talked about and kind of walked the line of with this episode, about how much of Abigail's humanity was still her own, how much her own personality and her own psyche was still there, and how much of it was Will's perception of her and a reflection of that.
He said he made a place for us.
The place wasn't made for you, Abigail.
He's forced to let her go almost for her own sake. It's like, go and be in peace.
I'm in his head. I think that Will gets to a place where he's okay without me. But I think there on the steps, we release each other in a way. In
order to come to Hannibal and face him, Will has to cast a lot of things off, come to a place of acceptance. And the final thing, in a way, that he has to let go of is Abigail.
Tell us a little bit about where we are, the Norman Chapel.
It's the entrance point in Hannibal's mind to his memory palace. It's an obvious starting point for our quest.
Do you have a memory palace in your head?
I would go to the beach in my hometown.
The beach?
Yeah, probably.
Like Wreck Beach?
Yeah, the nudie beach. Yeah, that's where I'd go.
And what about you? Where would your memory palace be?
No, I go straight to trauma.
Trauma?
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a terrible trauma that you've had to go inside your brain?
Right now, actually.
Right now?
Yeah.
Currently.
Where are you right now?
Where are you?
My memory palace, ironically, is exactly the same as Hannibal's.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You should get that checked out.
Thank you very much. I'd like to say thank you to Hugh Dancy and Kacey Rohl, stars of Hannibal. Is there anything that you'd like to confess?
What about you? Have you confessed anything yet, Father?
What?
Do you have any confessions?
Why do you think Hannibal turned on Jimmy Price this year?
I think it was just by mutual accord.
People just all realized together, we're tired of this character we barely know.
I'm not saying that there was a petition.
Or that you signed it?
No, or that I actually wrote it.
So that's not your confession?
No. I would never confess that.
See you next time.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson.
And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Welcome back. Well, how excited are you guys? We're talking to the man of the hour, Hannibal himself, Mads Mikkelsen. Welcome, Mads.
Thank you so much.
And how are you today?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Good. And we're talking about episode 303. This is the one that begins with you in the woods with Will. What is the significance of this castle, Lecter, that you go to?
It's his childhood home, so that's where everything started, right? That's where he figured out who he was. And that's also where his sister died and got killed brutally by someone.
And who is this person that killed his sister?
Well, it's a man. It's a random person who was around the farm.
Right.
I catch him in the act.
Molesting her or killing her?
Both.
Both.
And it's too late. She's dead.
Tell us about this place, the Norman Chapel.
Yes. This place.
Well, where we're at.
Well, this is one of Hannibal's favorite places. He loves this place, and he hinted that in season 2 to Will, that this is one of his memory palaces. Whatever happens to him, he will always have a place like this. And basically, you can go into the St. Peter's Church if you wanted to, or you can go anywhere in the world because his memory palace is so vast.
In Europe, your dinner parties have a different tone than they do in Baltimore. You're having more fun.
I first prepared this dish in honor of my sister when I was very young.
I'm sure you've perfected the recipe over the years.
I'm having the time of my life, basically, in Europe, and I'm luckily I have Bedelia right there next to me enjoying it as well.
What's the relationship with you and Bedelia?
It's not healthy. It's not a healthy relationship.
No. Why is that bathtub scene so pivotal? Because you become very intimate with her. You know,
I think I have been
intimate
with her for a long time, and even before we go to Europe. Well, she asked me some rather crucial questions about my past and about my sister, which also indicates she has a very good nose of knowing people as well.
At the end of this episode, Will creates this firefly sculpture of the body. What's that all about?
The whole two seasons, Hannibal has created these plateaus of fantastic killings. You know? And all of a sudden he does. Can be the little slight sign of him stepping into my shoes, or it can also be trying to erase me.
How would you kill Will? What would be the perfect way for you to kill Will?
I would drug him and make him have quite a nice sleep into his death.
Right.
And then I would keep him for years and...
Would you smoke him?
Celebrate him. Some of them I would definitely smoke his ears. You seen those cute ears? They gotta be smoked.
And he's so tiny.
Yeah.
You could just hang him up. All you need is just a little bit of...
I don't need a big house for that.
No, you don't need a big house. You just need a couple of Q-tips.
And I don't need a big fridge,
You know, and put him on a rotisserie.
Yeah, but I don't want to eat the whole thing at the time. That's the thing, right?
Right. What would be the worst way for Hannibal to die, like the most pedestrian manner?
Choking on a cheeseburger or something.
Choking on a cheeseburger?
That would be bad. With a Diet Coke in his hand.
Jumbo.
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
You wouldn't like it.
Right in the takeout lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then his foot gets on the accelerator and he drives out into traffic. And he's hit by
but he's already dead.
a manure truck.
Oh, you want him to double die now?
Double die.
Okay, fair enough, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mads. That's us. We're out. Hello there.
Hello.
Anything you want to confess?
I know that everybody thinks that I speak fluently English, don't laugh, but I did have to look up 20 words in the dictionary the other day just on one scene. And that's kind of a secret because I lied at the audition and said I know every single English word
including world.
World as well, that's one of them, word in the dictionary.
Right.
So that is kind of a secret because if they know that,
you wouldn't have been hired.
I don't think so.
They might have gone with your brother.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson.
And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Well, we're back in Postmortem, and we're here with Laurence Fishburne.
Howdy.
And howdy. And we're talking about episode 304. So you've lost everything, really.
He's lost his job, he's lost his wife, sort of his purpose, so I think he kind of reshifts his focus and goes, maybe I can save this one person from self-destructing.
Right.
I know what's coming for you, Will.
You don't have to die on me, too.
How do you guys survive that finale?
Through the magic of television.
You're right. And good, and good agents.
And good agents, yes. Good television.
Good
the magic of good television.
I mean, but when you guys are all in rehab, you must all be talking, and right? You're all sitting around, like, doing your exercises.
Yeah.
Now, the audience doesn't probably know that, except for the super fans, but you are actually married.
I am married to Gina Torres.
To Gina Torres.
Who plays Bella
Who plays
Crawford.
Bella. Gina Torres from Firefly.
From Firefly, from Suits.
Yeah. You know, it's not always do couples have great chemistry.
That's what I hear.
But you guys do.
Yes, we're very fortunate that we actually get along on screen and off.
What do you think Will's motive is for going after Hannibal?
Gotta kill him.
You think that's it?
No,
Yeah.
gotta get together with him and go off into the sunset.
And what do they do in the sunset?
Oh, everything. They drink, they talk.
That's not everything.
That's almost everything. That's enough. That leads to everything.
That might be enough for network television.
Drinking, talking.
Drinking and talking.
Leads to everything.
We were supposed to go together. That's on me. It's my foul, my bad.
Not all our choices are consciously calculated.
No. But our decisions are.
You feel guilty about what you've done with Will, right?
I don't think it's his fault, but I think he feels partly responsible for it, and he's trying to make it right.
Now, you think that you pushed him too far.
Oh, I know I've pushed him too far.
But then you're willing later
But
in
that's
the
part of the job.
I know, but you bring him back in. You're not that guilty.
Exactly. There's only a certain amount of guilt that he feels. Because, you know,
because these
the ends justify the means.
Yeah. These are people that love their jobs.
Right.
And their jobs are as important, or maybe more important, than their personal life.
That's true.
Right?
On some level, yes.
And I get that. I mean, maybe one day when I have a personal life, this won't be as important. But at the moment, this is it. That's a pretty sad confession.
Well,
isn't it?
It's honest.
Where's Will?
He's already gone, Jack. Will knows what he has to do. Do you?
What do you think will make Jack happy now that he's lost,
What'll make him
the two
happy
most
is if he
important
can
things in his
recover
life?
Will, and if they can capture Lecter, then I think that will give him a great sense of satisfaction.
Do you think that capturing Lecter and making sure that Will is safe would be enough for him to finally go, I've had enough of this shit, and retire?
Probably not. No, I don't think
They
he'll
never
ever-
do they?
I don't think he'd ever get tired of the chase, no.
Could you ever retire?
I hope not.
But it might.
If there's a time for me to give this up, I'm sure I'll know when it is, and I hope that I have the good sense to go graciously.
I think we're done.
Are we?
We're going to wrap it up.
Later.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on Postmortem.
See you next time.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson.
And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Hi there, welcome back to Postmortem. I'm sitting here with Martha De Laurentiis, the executive producer of Hannibal. So let's talk about episode 305.
Right.
You've been in the Hannibal world for quite a long time because you used to be married to Dino De Laurentiis, right? Mm-hmm. And when you were doing the original Hannibal, were you actually in Florence?
Mm-hmm. That was great.
And what would be the difference between this time and 15 years before?
So it was much shorter. much shorter. We were able to do exteriors and some interiors over there. But what, as you know, we built a lot of interiors on the stages here in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're beautiful sets.
You can't really tell the difference. You can't tell if they're in Italy. You can't tell if they're in a set here. It's just amazing.
Well, that's what you can do nowadays.
It is
you shoot
amazing.
Plates and
so in this episode, what do you think this episode is really about?
The name is called Contorno. So, you know,
What does that mean?
always have every course of a meal, and this meal is Italian this season. So contorno e contorni are the side plates, the side dishes. Everybody is descending on Hannibal.
You weren't in Palermo on official business?
Neither were you.
No. And your subordinates at Questura, they know you're investigating Hannibal Lecter?
I'll tell them when I know it's Lecter that I'm investigating.
You already know.
So you've got Will, you have Chio, you have Jack, you have Patsy, you have Verger, you have Alana Bloom. Everybody has their part in the takedown of Hannibal.
Do you think that Hannibal enjoys that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course he knows. I mean, the intrigue of all this is we always assume that Hannibal is the master puppeteer.
Yes.
That he, even in not knowing, he does know, he smells, he senses, he's put up the stakes for it. I mean, he's made it happen.
Right.
I mean, the fact that in 5 episodes, the tone is so different.
It really is.
It's changed. Not that it's black comedy, but there is more humor. Hannibal's out. He's gorgeous. He has the bride of Frankenstein with him as his wife.
Wait, that's a good thing to call her.
Or Veronica Lake.
Yeah.
We have Hannibal being 20 years younger in front of the Primavera, where he's sketching, that he met Patsy for the first time. So he knows everything is closing in. And so that's setting the stage to, obviously, we know, we're telling the book, The Tale of the Dragon. The whole, how are he and Will going to meet? What is going to happen when he and Will meet?
Birds eat thousands of snails every day. Some of those snails survive digestion and emerge to find they've traveled the world.
In the belly of the beast.
What do the snails mean?
As Chio mentions, thousands of snails are eaten by birds and they find themselves transported. They are. Will and Chio are transported. They're being transported back to Italy. She's never been to Italy before. And that whole thing is, this whole incident, that she is forced from her home. Will, commits murder, does the tableau. He has just arrived to Castle Lecter, and within days, he changes her life. Something Hannibal Lecter could never do.
Their means of influence, other than violence.
Honestly, with these episodes, you have to watch them over and over. I do. I mean, I was watching dailies and seeing cuts and seeing the next cut and realizing, oh, that was in there. That was everything is always, even when you change a cut, it changes the insinuation or the meaning of the scene.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Martha. It's been a delight, as
Scott.
always.
It's been great having you this season.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed being had.
Good.
I always do.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
See you next time. Hi, I'm Scott Thompson. And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Well, welcome back. We're back on Postmortem. We're talking to Vincenzo Natali, the director of many Hannibal episodes. But today, we're focusing on episode 306, which is a very interesting episode. In this episode, Bedelia and Hannibal say their goodbyes. Can you tell me about that scene a little bit?
Well, I think it's really Bedelia saying goodbye to Hannibal, and not the other way around. It's a rare occurrence where someone has not upped Hannibal, but taken a step that perhaps wasn't something he predicted.
Yeah.
Which was what makes it so interesting, and in some ways empowers her as a character and makes her all the more interesting.
This isn't how I intended to say goodbye. I imagined it differently.
I didn't.
He has no intentions of letting her go, does he?
He knows he needs to, and she needs to, but I don't think it's a farewell.
What do you think their relationship is? I mean, like as a director, what did you think that was?
From Bedelia's side, she's approaching it a little bit like a scientist.
A scientist?
She is very much there to observe Hannibal in his natural habitat. And for Hannibal's part, I mean, I think he really adores her.
What will you say of me?
I will help you because you asked me to.
This season, I find, is filled with funny lines.
It is. It's incredibly funny.
How do you direct it so that, like when Will says that the soup's bad?
That scene read out is laugh out loud funny.
Totally.
And it is funny, but the humor is buried beneath the pathos that you feel for these characters and the emotion that you feel for the characters. And that comes 100% from Mads and from Hugh. For all of the madness, it's about very, very real human emotions.
Yes, it is.
And it's that relationship which is the cornerstone of the show and what invariably keeps you glued, because we all have had relationships like this.
What's with Alana, Bloom, and Margot?
There is an element of collusion between them beyond just a romance. The romance is real, but I think they need each other. And Margot needs to get out of this situation, and Alana needs her revenge.
That scene when Will and Jack confront Gillian in the apartment and she's just shot up, right? What's going on there?
I think that the cocktail, whatever it is, still allows her enough control to know what she's doing. But she is high at the same time.
She looks high as a kite.
I saw this episode as being the Alice in Wonderland episode, because it's one hallucination after another.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so you think she's still in control even when shot up with all those drugs?
She is very much so. She seems to enjoy it.
She does seem, basically what I thought, I'll have what she's having. Well, thank you very much, Vincenzo. We've just been talking to Vincenzo Natali, one of the directors of Hannibal and the director of episode 306. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Vincenzo, you have something you like to tell me, a little lighten the load a little bit?
Well, you know, Scott, I am partially responsible. Well, I am fully responsible for most of the sex scenes in Hannibal.
Are you responsible for the kaleidoscope lesbian scene?
Have you seen that?
I did watch that. Okay. Did it turn you on, that scene?
Not when I was shooting it.
After?
Maybe a little after.
When you go home into your memory palace?
It's playing in IMAX.
In your head?
In the memory palace.
So that's your memory palace?
Yes. The IMAX palace.
Good. That's all I wanted. Thank you. You are absolved.
Wait, don't I get holy water or something?
See you next time. Hi, I'm Scott Thompson. And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. Hi there, and welcome to Postmortem. We're here in Hannibal's office, and we're talking to Caroline Dhavernas and Katharine Isabelle about episode 307. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
What's happening with these two characters? Tell the audience what's going on.
Love's in the air.
How did that happen? I did not see that coming.
She walked into my beautiful mansion.
Right.
We had a very brief exchange.
Yeah.
And next thing you know,
Your character has been is a long-time lesbian.
Yes.
Right? A
yeah.
professional lesbian. Can we say
Yes,
professional?
professional.
Yours is
I'm a newbie.
You're an amateur lesbian.
Well, I don't know, because when I talked to Bryan, I said, so is this new in her life?
Yeah.
And he said, I think she's always been, you know, bisexual, but we've never really heard about it. So it's probably not new for her.
Right.
But we never hear about that. That's just the backstory.
Mason has what he wants. I think it's time you get what you want. He has Hannibal. He has Will, too. Your brother's a sadist. He'll torture them and take the time to enjoy it. That gives us time.
You're gonna have your brother's baby?
I just want his sperm.
So that
and
why
I
do you want
need
his
a
sperm so that you can inherit the
viable
the money?
host.
So you're doing this
And egg donor.
to give her a baby.
Yes.
But also you must want the money.
I've been planning his murder for a long time,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of went, okay, babe.
Yeah, like I mean, certainly there was some murder pillow talk, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's definitely.
What about that plan for your brother to actually eat Hannibal with Will's face on?
That seemed like a normal sort of evolution
What else
for
would you
his
do?
character. What else would you do?
Why does Mason have a hate on for Will?
Will impregnated me, so...
Oh,
and then he
yes.
was like, no. And then the car accident and the...
Do you think that your brother's in love with you?
Oh, well, that's probably happened a few times.
Do you think the two of you have been intimate?
Yeah, I know, yeah, against my will, perhaps, when we were younger.
You free Hannibal in this episode. That's pretty weird.
I know.
What were you thinking when you were doing that?
You know, he always gets his way. Don't they know that by now?
And he's promised to kill her.
I know. And does everybody in the show have a death wish?
Amnesia.
And amnesia, yeah. Amnesia and a death wish. Now, you get a lot of action in this episode. You do more things. I mean, do you enjoy that?
I give birth to a pig baby.
There's no fetal heartbeat. Take it out. Take it out.
Let's talk about the pig baby.
That was my favorite scene.
That's the most
thing
shocking.
I've ever seen.
That is probably
And
the
we
best
only
thing I've
had the
ever
one pig, right? So it was very stressful.
It was a very expensive pig
Yeah.
and a very expensive baby, and we were told, well, Caroline actually had to do the operation.
Oh, you did?
And she was told sort of how many layers, and you had to go through and you had to sort the intestines out and you had to find the uterus. And
It was like a piñata.
A multi-layered
pinata,
pinata.
but I didn't know where I'd find it.
If that baby had come out alive,
Tough life.
what would the two of you have done with the baby?
Well,
started in soccer and.
How old does your child have to
At what
be
point do we
before
tell
you tell
you
them,
we
by the
were
way, your
into the
womb
world
was
from
a pig?
Oh, you never tell.
And they'll go, don't talk about mother like that. But anyways,
Weirdest day of my life.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, darling.
cheers. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you, Scott.
You guys have been great. Tune in next week on Postmortem. Just like that. See you next time. Welcome to Postmortem. We're talking to the other Guillermo, the less famous Guillermo, who might end up being more famous than the other Guillermo, and Richard Armitage.
The less famous Richard Armitage.
The less famous,
not
the French
not the
Armitage
defense secretary.
is very
the
famous.
actor.
And you're playing Francis Dolarhyde, and you directed. How many have you directed this year? Three.
310 episodes.
310 episodes. Who is Francis Dolarhyde?
That's a very open question.
Oh my God! I don't know anything about the show this year.
He's the Red Dragon. He's the I guess the protagonist of Thomas Harris's first book when he found Lecter.
And the Red Dragon comes from what?
Comes from some of the William Blake iconographic paintings.
Oh, okay. You're in the middle of a huge serial killing rampage.
It's not kind of random, and he hasn't kind of just cleaned up on killing spree. It's he picks his victims very carefully, and
he kills families, right?
He does, yes.
Like entire families.
Yes.
And why do you think he does that?
I think it's a kickback at his lack of his hatred of his own experiences through his childhood of his own family.
Is it working? Is it making him feel better?
No, not really. No, it's no antidote.
Welcome back to Postmortem. We've been joined by Rutina Wesley. Welcome.
Hello.
Rutina plays the character of Reba McClane.
Arriba, arriba!
So who is Reba? Reba.
She's very confident, very sure of herself, of her sexuality, of everything.
She really goes for what she wants, doesn't she?
Yeah, you know, when she meets Dolarhyde, I think she's sort of, she is blind, but I feel like she sees him. She sort of sees him in a way that is the man. She sees the man, and I think for her, it's like that sort of, she thinks he's like that last gentleman that's left on Earth.
Here's what I like, Francis. I felt no sympathy from you. I like that. Sympathy feels like spit on my cheek. And I don't do self-pity. May I touch your face? I just want to know if you're smiling or frowning. I want to know whether to just shut up or not.
Trust me. I'm smiling.
Your character and your character, you're both kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
And you both have handicaps. And do you think that you're drawn to his handicap?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think she sort of, that's one thing that she recognizes in him and relates to, because everyone has told her around, you know, that, oh, he's sensitive about his face.
Right.
And he shouldn't be, because he's actually very handsome. And so I think her immediate response to that is she wants to touch his face, I think, to let him know, like, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand that, and you're still beautiful to me. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't matter to me. And I can't even see it, but I can feel it and let you know that it doesn't matter. And so I think that's another like strong connection that they have because of that. He just treats her as a normal woman should be treated, without talks or anything about her handicap. You know? Because for her, she uses that to sort of drive her. It strengthens her. And I think that's sort of what I find amazing about her, what inspires me about her actually, is that she doesn't let it sort of hinder anything that she wants to do.
Welcome to Postmortem. Today we're talking to Guillermo, Navarro, Richard Armitage, and Rutina Wesley. We're discussing Hannibal Season 3. So you decide to take her to the zoo. Why the zoo?
I feel like everything that Dolarhyde does with Reba McClane is some kind of test.
We're at the zoo. Why are we at the zoo? It's cold for the zoo.
Did you ever see a tiger?
No.
He brings her to the zoo with this understanding that she captures everything with her senses.
Right.
So it becomes this awareness that she can recognize, she can smell, she can feel. He puts her there at with the beast. No? So it's this thing of being vulnerable, but the beast is sedated, and she's able and willing to experience that. And he's watching, and he's fantasizing. He sees how he touches the tiger. He feels that she's touching him. Mm-hmm. And all those things are new for him. He doesn't know what it is with a woman that is alive, and she's there showing how sensitive and how she can feel, how she can express. And that's a tremendous transformation in him.
I love it because the tiger is this beast, and I feel like Dolarhyde is a beast, and he's there with me, and I'm there with the tiger, discovering the tiger, almost as if I'm discovering Dolarhyde as well. It's like this. It's like a sort of the same sort of thing, and I can feel him watching. I know he's watching, and I think in how I'm touching the tiger is how I would be touching him. It's very sensual.
He reads that very well.
Yeah.
There's so much said in that scene with no dialogue as well. It's one of those great scenes where you think this is a silent movie with a huge narrative happening.
Right after that experience, he is a transformed man in the sense that he knows that he can be with her.
She potentially becomes his next victim, and then, but he can't bear to do it.
Good morning.
Morning.
I really had a terrific time, Dee.
Me too.
But I need to go home now.
Yes. Good. I'll take you now.
He's debating now because the dragon's like demand sacrifices, no? The dragon wants, he has to feed her to the dragon.
Yeah, it's the moment when, in a way, the sort of schizophrenic mind splits and he does become two beings, and he refuses to give Reba to the dragon. And he gets into like an extreme conflict with that beast who beats the shit out of him, basically.
Welcome to Postmortem. Today we're talking to Guillermo, Navarro, Richard Armitage, and Rutina Wesley. We're discussing Hannibal Season 3. So what does it mean, Dolarhyde transforming into the dragon? What does that mean exactly?
Well, in the book, it's easy to write because you can write the interior of somebody's mind and you can write voices in somebody's head. When you come to try and create that in cinema, you have to, having an actor speaking to himself, it sort of has to manifest itself visually. So in Bryan's creation, we do see Dolarhyde transform into the dragon, which we've experimented with a dragon suit, and there'll be some digital work put on it. But it's very symbolic of the Blake painting.
Does your character actually think you're physically transforming into a dragon?
Oh, he actually does transform into a dragon.
He literally does?
Well, it starts with the painting on his back that he has tattooed in full on his back.
Right.
Which starts to move. And in a way, the character, it's like he's shedding his own skin. And he literally does transform into something else.
You eat the painting. What is that?
Delicious.
Is it good?
Utterly.
What's the favorite pigment? What tastes best?
There's a story to be told about that, actually.
Okay.
They did spend quite a bit of money creating an edible painting, which was completely the wrong size. But it was edible, and so we ate a little corner of it. But ultimately, we ended up eating the full size, the actual painting, and that's his attempt to destroy the dragon. You know, I think he feels like, that to destroy the dragon, to consume the dragon, to have it inside of him, and it's his way of destroying it. But Hannibal says to him, "But now it's inside you."
So it actually makes him more powerful.
Yeah, you can't escape. He's in you now.
He's a habit.
It stunned me. First time I saw it. Like Blake peeked in your ear and saw the red dragon there. Coiled inside you. Coiled around you. This new tune is with the dragon. It's disorienting for you.
Our wills were one. But not now. Not since her. It called my name. It wants her. Do you remember we were talking about the moment where the schizophrenic mind splits into two physical beings, which is sort of what his mind's creating. And that's the moment when the dragon beats the shit out of Dolarhyde and says, give her to me. And that's why he breaks up with her, because if he doesn't, and if she comes to this house, the dragon will kill her. So in a way, by breaking up with her,
He's saving her.
He's saving her.
Oh.
Yet
It's
she's
another
still...
act of love.
Yeah.
I can't be with you.
Most men are terrified of entailing a burden. That fear is amplified in my case.
That's not why I'm afraid.
In a way, it's Dolarhyde that's in trouble.
Because he's met a real woman.
Yeah, and to him, she represents real danger.
Welcome to Postmortem. Today we're talking to Guillermo, Navarro, Richard Armitage, and Rutina, Wesley. We're discussing Hannibal Season 3. So I heard that you're a method actor.
Who told you that?
Well, different people. It's just going around. What does that mean exactly? Because you said earlier that you were glad you didn't have to commit any of the murders because you would have taken it home.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody has a method. It's not a science, and there are some things where you can experience what the character's doing. With this, I knew from the beginning there's no way you can, I'm not I'm staying out of that side of the I didn't let my head go in there. It's a bit like a marinade. You kind of bathe in it and then try and stay in it. But it's not method for sure. I didn't go.
But this show, this group, they've been working on this show for 3 years. They're all clinically insane. Everyone's gone nuts. Everyone's gone crazy.
Yeah.
It's time for the mask.
What do you do?
Would you like to sample it?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? What's he gonna do?
Just relax.
Man. Okay.
Okay.
That's aggressive.
Now what? Now what?
Stay like that.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
That's pretty scary,
That's what you're taught.
actually. I didn't realize it looked that scary. So now you have to reveal your mouth. You have to slowly reveal your face to us. I said, wish I'd done that. Why didn't I make that choice?
Because you're not that guy. Not that guy either.
That's my dragon. That's Jimmy's dragon.
Very good.
So does Reba know what Dolarhyde is doing? I mean, I don't think she knows that he's a serial killer, but does she sense that there's some very scary waters underneath?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's interesting because I think there are hints of times where she sort of senses something, but she doesn't quite know what it is. And
Maybe
I think
it's kind of exciting to her?
A little bit, yeah. And I think she's just sort of trying to just keep the connection with him and to reach him and to let him know, like, I know you like me.
I won't be long. I asked my taxi to wait. How are you feeling?
Okay.
Your office said you were sick.
The flu. You shouldn't be here.
I brought you soup.
What I love about her is that she, even though he has kind of broken up with her, she still comes back and she's still like, well, I have one more thing I need to say. I need to sort of just let you know how I'm feeling.
Does she want to save him?
Has a hint of the danger. Yeah, because she sees the man. She's fallen in love with the man, and she has no idea about the monster in him. And I think there is a sense of danger, and I think she can see past that.
Welcome to Postmortem. Today we're talking to Guillermo, Navarro, Richard Armitage, and Rutina Wesley. We're discussing Hannibal Season 3. Do you have a favorite scene?
Yes. It would be the scene with the tiger.
Did they have a real dead tiger, or was it completely fake?
We won't reveal that.
You can't reveal that?
Do we have a tiger outfit that he can pop on and we can just do this?
Oh, I got one in my trailer. Don't worry.
Yeah, he got one of his glasses.
You can lie on the table and we can just redo this.
Absolutely, and you can do your thing with the legs.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite scene? Now, obviously, naked on your hands and knees, stretching.
I have to say, every day I kind of come away thinking that was my favorite scene, but I think, in a way, Dolarhyde's finale, which we shot very recently at 4:30 in the morning, when he kidnaps Reba, and it's just beautifully written. There's so many great shifts in it. That's my favorite scene because it was very still and quite intense. It was nice.
You know what they called the being that visited those people?
The two things.
Think. Answer correctly.
It's a dragon something. Dragon. Red dragon.
I am the dragon.
And what about you? Do you have a favorite scene?
I think I have too many.
Yeah.
That's part of the problem, that I now have to get rid of one. I don't know which one. It's that scene that you love, I love. I mean, that moment, all that duality of, this is where I am. No, but I love you. Shut up. I am the Red Dragon. And this is how we're gonna play it. But there's been a learning curve for her. She's been learning with his aid of, this is how you get here. This is how you can get out of here. There's a clock here. There's some flowers there. Take the key there. Learn your path.
Bring your hands up slowly. Don't do what you are thinking. Just feel on my chest. Just around my throat. You feel that? It's a key. Take it off over my head. Careful. No. I'm going to see if I can trust you.
Every single moment of that final sequence is designed by Dolarhyde. From the minute she walks in the door, from the minute he abducts her, everything is set in place for his escape. Even her liberation is by design.
And it's fantastic that how you guys perform it, and so in. You know? You are there. You're in their shoes. You're living his anxiety, his contradiction, her fear, wanting to rescue that man. That for her is the greatest event of her life. She found a man she loves. You know?
Yeah.
And for him too. So they're there for each other. You know, they're meant to be for it, and he can't. I enjoyed very much shooting. I love every moment of it's full of joy, my day.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson. And welcome to Postmortem.
Can you believe that it's Season 3 already? And the whole cast and crew of Hannibal has gone off to Europe. Well, almost the whole cast. But they can't keep me away. I'm heading there to get some culture.
Interesting.
And to get those boys and girls to confess their darkest secrets. Not to mention, to figure out what the heck is happening on this show. I'm sitting here with Bryan Fuller and Steve Lightfoot, the creator and, major domo?
Sure.
Of the show. And it's interesting, we're gonna do an overview of the third season of Hannibal and what makes it different from the first two seasons. So let's turn to you, the creator. What makes it the most different from the first two seasons?
Hannibal is out in the wild and in Italy, and he is living the life that we've always wanted him to live, which is one where he is killing openly, eating openly.
Bonsoir.
And we want him to live that way.
Yes, yes.
You have a very good butcher. I do indeed. The lamb must be newly slaughtered. The organs cooked the same day. I always oversee this process personally.
What was the whole point of the finale was to get into Hannibal's shoes and really see him as someone who could have his heart broken.
Do you think his heart really is broken?
Absolutely. Will Graham broke his heart. And I think that was the most exciting thing for me about doing this project is the opportunity to humanize Hannibal in a way that you hadn't seen before in the books or the movies.
Right.
And what Mads Mikkelsen brings to him, which is so fantastic, is this level of mythology. So he's not just a cannibal psychiatrist, he's the devil. He's a fallen angel, and he's here to exploit humanity to the best of his abilities.
Okay.
But both Steve and I love genre storytelling, and it's kind of a tool of genre storytelling to be able to tell a heightened world where ghosts and devils exist. One of the interesting things about Will Graham's relationship with Hannibal Lecter is that he reached a level of intimacy that he had never experienced before in his life. And once that goes away, he's going to seek out that feeling again.
Even though it's not safe. Like, because I think a lot of what we find a lot of the characters in the show doing is they try and get to a place of safety, and then they get there, and it's really boring.
Yeah.
And actually they're missing the thing that wasn't safe, and you know, and they're sucked back to it whether they like it or not.
So you're telling two stories this season, right?
Yes.
Hannibal incarcerated.
Yes.
And Red Dragon.
The first 7 is Hannibal on the run, and we end obviously with Hannibal in custody.
Okay.
And we had a lot of fun with that Italian story because it sort of got us out of America. It got, you know, it widened the show, everything we've talked about in terms of just broadening the soap opera. And that story is very Patricia Highsmith, very talented Mr. Ripley. You know,
yes,
Hannibal
that's
on the run.
another thing I kept thinking about.
That,
Talented
all
Mr.
that,
Ripley.
That noirish, everyone's trying to work out what everyone else is up to and get the upper hand. And in the end, Hannibal gets caught, but we're left with the feeling actually he's still got the upper hand somehow. And then we do a pretty bold thing, I think, which is we just jump forward 3 years. And the next episode's 3 years later, and he's been in prison for 3 years. Will has got married. Will is, and we pick it up, and it's, you know, the Dolarhyde murders are what bring everyone back into the fold.
Visually, what can we expect? Are there certain visual motifs that will... I said motif.
Something's wrong with motif.
Well, it just felt like a really weird, like, rap name, motif. Okay, then I'll get blunt. Let's get cut to the chase. What's with all the slimy things?
The slimy thing, the oysters really for us was about finding out that oysters are what they gave animals to make them taste better. The fact that Hannibal is constantly feeding Bedelia oysters tells the audience that he's planning on eating her.
That's hilarious. I mean, I always love watching thin actresses try to eat on camera anyways. Pretending to eat. Oh, I'm starving.
There's a bucket just off camera.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I've been talking to Bryan Fuller and Steve Lightfoot. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
Always. You're a delight.
Even more.
Thank you.
See you next time.
I'm sitting here with Bryan Fuller and Steve Lightfoot. What makes it the most different from the first 2 seasons?
Hannibal is out in the wild and in Italy, and he is living the life that we've always wanted him to live, which is one where he is killing openly, eating openly.
Bonsoir.
What we find a lot of the characters in the show doing is they try and get to a place of safety, and then they get there, and it's really boring. And actually they're missing the thing that wasn't safe, and you know, and they're sucked back to it whether they like it or not.
You have a very good butcher. I always oversee this process personally.
He's not just a cannibal psychiatrist, he's the devil. He's a fallen angel, and he's here to exploit humanity to the best of his abilities.
Okay.
But both Steve and I love genre storytelling, and it's kind of a tool of genre storytelling to be able to tell a heightened world where ghosts and devils exist.